All right, hello, everyone's having a wonderful day today. I know I've had definitely an interesting morning so far. Echoey Auto. Let's see here. All right, Mike, is that any better? Oh, it's probably still picking up. Hold on. There we go. Yes, technology is hard. And I was futzing with my settings. We got it working now, though. Hear me once. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my settings there. Okay, there we go. Now I can have my music, my background music, and everything working. Well, first off, awesome to have Mike Eaton. Definitely what I would consider a dear friend. Great to see that he's up on watching my Twitch. Yeah, so I was saying, definitely had an interesting morning. So second Tuesday of the month, we have our tech leader meetup. We do our coffee and discussion. So it's going on for about 2.5 years, and it's for tech leaders, and it's just whatever topics are going on within those folks' groups, and it's been really great conversations. So I had that this morning, and kind of fun part, and one of the interesting side effects of the pandemic was, this morning we had someone from Albania call in. And it's funny, when she first said she was from Albania, I thought she was saying she was originally from Albania and moved. And then come to realize she was actually calling in from Albania, which that was really, really neat to see that. Really good conversations, talking to someone who's, someone on the group is kind of been in sales most of the time, now moving over to more tech leadership. So I had really good conversations about how to lead groups, how to lead larger groups. He's got like 30 people. And I relayed a lot of experience I had when I was at HP, where I had up to 63 folks. Which was pure madness, really. So, so that was a good part of the day. But then we've been having some issues with Azure this morning, which is, if I'm looking off the other side, because I've still got some Teams conversations going on about that, which has been a lot of fun. Apparently, Azure decided to upgrade some of our services, but that has taken down our services. And of course, their solution is, well, you need to open up in another region, which we do. Right now, our primary application is sitting in one region. We do really need, but there's a cost associated. Sorry, that's enough chit chat. I'm gonna move over to the code. So we've been working on, especially for those that are new here, we've been working on okay, sorry, quick distraction. So that Skirmish Viking guitar, that's actually what's currently playing. Someone was asking me about it the other day, and I couldn't figure out what they were asking me about. I don't know why that's just playing there. See if I can fix that real quick on the stream. Again, technology's hard. That a little bit annoying. Hold on just a second, because now I notice it, I can't unnotice it. That later. But now so apparently my what's currently playing in the music you can't hear anyways. Let me just go ahead and close that. Come on. Oh, on top of it, I should say I've been having issues with my computer. It's been fun. It decided to crash, and I don't know, this is the second time it's done this since I've got this machine. It's like once it crashes, it takes me a good half hour to really get back up and running. All right, anyway, so working on this ORM for Gremlin within Cosmos. Really, the idea behind this is, I want to build an application using Gremlin within Cosmos And there is actually no ORM. And the documentation is basically build your strings of the Gremlin code. Looks similar to this line here. You know, which works, but it's not the cleanest thing, and it really does require a lot more code to make everything work. There are some fluent packages out there that allow this to be a little bit more fluent, which is nice. Really, what I like is to be able to have, you know, I don't want any framework for Gremlin. I'm not actually the biggest fan of any framework, but what I would like to have is, you know, something that at least, you know, when I have an object and when I click save, it would generate this type of logic for me, right? So, so really just in the very beginnings of building this out, currently building this into a console app that builds that create object, actually add vertice Gremlin, and I'm doing that so that oh my, doing some funky things. Oh, I might have just had a monitor die on me. Oh, this is gonna be a fun day. I'm gonna blame it all on Mike. Mike joined my stream and all of a sudden everything breaks. Just kidding, obviously. All right, at any rate, yeah, so doing this in console app just so that it's easier to debug as I'm going. And where I was at yesterday, I want to be able to handle different types. So Gremlin, you know, a string. It's a string, but you know, it supports strings, numbers, booleans. Is basically 3 different types. Anything else is just basically a string. Way how it works. What I was handling some stuff. I need an isNumeric. I was talking about this yesterday. You know, I think it sucks about C#. There is no just one standard isNumeric function. That's one thing I missed from VB. VB has an isNumeric function. Probably not the most efficient thing. Probably because you got to do a lot of stuff. And what I've noticed is actually I can really just do this with a float. Then I need to handle integers that are over a long, convert those to a float, because otherwise it won't handle them correctly. So what I want to do, all right, so move this down because this is definitely the part I need. If it's a float, which will capture up to a long just fine. I want to do that, and then what I want to do. So if it is a float, what we want to first do is if that will give me the float. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. This needs to out a number. So then what we'll do, long. Let's capture that. And then we'll say, so if is long. Need to actually, right now this is return a Boolean. Oh, how do I want to do this? I need this to, checking if it's a numeric. Now I also need a number out of it. Because it's internal, I guess I could use I gotta think of what it's called. When it returns multiple values. Boy, I'm drawing a blank with this. Tuple. That's what. This will make this a tuple, a Boolean, and then a string. And then what I'll do, obviously it's gonna break those down. That's fine for the moment. If this is a float, I got it to it quicker. I still gotta get a little bit quicker watching still getting used to watching chat while I'm also coding. All right, so yeah, so if it's a long, then what I want to do is, let's see here. Full string. We'll say return value. We'll have a default value here, false, string empty. Basically, when we use this, we'll ignore it, false. True. Okay, so that'll work that fine. Check that. If is long. Else, then this is going to, all right, Michael, see you in a bit. If it's false, then we'll return, it is a float, so it still is a numeric value. So we will return, return value will equal new tuple. Again, this is gonna be true, and then return the float number. We already have the number. So that'll do that. Here we'll just return the return value. These. Then the other thing I need to handle, so what that is not checking is decimal. All right. So you need to add this. This is what we were seeing yesterday. Decimals are supported. If is decimal, we will return value. What's the line? Return value equals true. All right, so not necessarily the prettiest thing in the world, but this will work. Should work. Clean this up a little bit. Personally, I don't like all the extra brackets if I don't need them. Dude, I didn't need that last. All right. All right. So now I just want to, and in here, what are we going to do? So this is going to change this a bit. We'll check if it's a Boolean. And we'll have an else. Then we'll our numeric is numeric. Really, that name is not a good name anymore. Doesn't really describe what it's doing. Property. Value. So we'll get that, and then we'll say if is numeric all I is numeric item 1 true. I only need it. I gotta admit, this is the one thing I don't like about numeric, or not numerics, tuples. I mean, it's just item 1, item 2. But you know, it is, you know, for something that is going to be all internal. I mean, this will be private code within a public method. So you know, it's not the best thing, but we'll make it work. Because there's really no need to create a whole nother class for this. The tuple should actually be cool. All right. So if it is numeric, then that's when we do this gremlin append. Actually here. And then instead of that, we will do is numeric item 2. And then finally, else, and do that. And then we don't need that. We do need though. Make that a little bit simpler. So there. Now we say if it's a Boolean, then we'll basically change. You know, we'll get the Boolean value string to lower. So that's how Gremlin wants it. Yeah, that's how Gremlin wants it. Here we're checking for it's numeric. Again, basically return a string without the quotes. That's what we want. And then we will have a. We're going to have a just return everything else returns as a string with a single quote. Now I still need to handle. Here, this I don't do that anymore. I do still need to handle if it's a class because we should, you know, or an object because that needs to be handled differently. But right now I'm just trying to handle the simpler type. So I don't need that breakpoint there. Let's just verify what we're getting. And, I don't know why. Every single day it does this to me. Why can you not remember the startup project? I've done that every day, you know, every day since I've been working on this project. Oh, something within this project. All right, I didn't realize I still have breakpoint in here. You out of that. I don't have any other. Yeah. There we go. What? Clean up some stuff here. That anymore. Now let's try this. And there we have our gremlin. Hey Kevin, how's it going? Thank you for the follow. I really do appreciate it. Definitely getting a little bit closer to getting that affiliate. That's the yeah, no kidding. I'm actually, my last thing I need to get affiliate is the 50 followers. The bar is actually a little bit wrong because I had a couple people join who follow me off stream. Unfortunately, that only updates when you're on stream. Kind of weird. Actually, sure enough, I'm actually contemplating. That's Streamlabs I'm using. I'm actually contemplating moving over to. I like that. I really do like that. I had to fix that problem of Mike being on the list. Yeah, I've been looking to go to Stream Elements, and sure enough, Stream Elements has a similar thing, but it looks like it actually updates in real time. So it's not just feeding when you're live, which is all right. Anyway, I'm looking at this. So we've got add an event. Here's our event ID, property. Still have this part here. Need to handle that because I mean, that will actually work, but that's not, obviously, that's not what we really want in our Gremlin code. That all looks good. Just to be sure, go into Visual Studio. So that's so Kevin, that's what you're using as Dream Elements. Like I said, I am probably going to be making that move over this weekend. One thing I am waiting on, I actually did commission a Fiverr seller, build a new look for my stream. Not that my stream is too bad, but I wanted something a little bit different. So far, the concept, they've actually commissioned a couple of folks to do it. They're looking really, really nice. Liking what they've done so far. All right, so I'm just going into Visual Code. I really do need to open this up before the stream. The Azure thing takes a moment to get connected. As it turns out, right now I'm not doing anything in Cosmos, so for my daily work, so I don't have Visual Code open all day long. Been good old SQL work, trying to move. We actually have code that is putting images, binary images, into the database. I'm in the middle of writing a utility to get that out. All right, I'm just going to drop everything. Hey, awesome! Welcome everyone from Matt's stream. I was actually part of that stream earlier on. Oh, Matt, sorry you got something got caught in there. I'm not sure what link you were trying to send. Thank you, Calvin, for the follow. Definitely, really do appreciate that. Emotes. Wow, emotes shouldn't be. All right. Let me make myself a note. I'm not going to fix that on stream, but that is definitely getting too much. All right. I'm going to fix that later because emotes shouldn't be out of there. All right. Here, got this. So those who just joined, so I actually did mention those who were early on Matt's stream. So I'm working on a Gremlin ORM. So the idea of from what I can see, the only ORM I've been able to find for Gremlin is a JavaScript-based one, but I don't do JavaScript. I do C#. So I'm building a simple ORM. Matt, thank you so much for the follow. So I'm building a simple ORM that can, so when I do a save on a C# object, it will generate the necessary gremlin to save that into a graph database. All right. All right. So I have it. So we're working on numbers, right? So getting the numbers in the correct format. What I do need to do, actually do this here in Notepad. So we have one problem here. We're still grabbing this object. We don't want that in there. Although again, it won't actually want to break anything. I'll just put a property in there. But this was the key thing. I have this is a number value. But basically, that's what I was making sure was at 2. Sure enough, if I create that just fine. We see the graph object, and more importantly, we see this is a number, and it's represented as a number. What I do want to test real quick, just to make sure, this is actually right now if something heard a weird sound come from somewhere. All right, what I do want to do, change this to a float. I want to make sure that works. Big old number. And this is a number, and there we go. We see it converted to a float. I mean, I've never put a float into Cosmos, but this is supposed to be supported. Or into a Gremlin, not just Cosmos, but a graph database. Let's take that. Just so we can see this value in there. Interesting, it's taken a while. There we go, it did come up. Oh, yeah, I should show the graph of that graph. Yeah. One, ensure this is a number. Interesting. Okay, it changed it to a regular number because she didn't make it big enough. It's make that number just a little bit bigger. Actually, I didn't go over it along. On that. And really, I do need to put this in Unicode, not just doing this kind of thing. And when I move this over to the actual class library, I will at that point make my test. And it's not that I don't like TDD development. I just generally don't do TDD development. I generally do the early test often type concept. All right, well, it's interesting. It's just populating. That is not the number. Or I guess, okay, yeah, it is. What? That's not what I was expecting. That's interesting. That's not handling floats correctly. I was expecting it to save it like you know, like this. All right, I'm gonna have to look into that. Let's see if it's handling decimals. And then I'm gonna come back to, let's just change this to a decimal. Okay, value. No, what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? They're so nice. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Not a D. D is what you do in VB. Again, I haven't coached VB so long, but I still remember it that way. Now I've got my statement. It does just come like that, which is correct. You know, just 1956. And we'll clean out. I don't really need to clean it. Keep on saying this, I don't really need to clean this out. It is proper Gremlin. It's just not actually on. Go, and I have a decimal value. So I need to, okay, what is it doing with floats? You know, that is really a good question. Floats are definitely not. Let's let's pass in an action instead of what I. That might have been my test code might have. Want to trying to tell. Right? Fun and riveting code. I don't actually have to be renaming this. Make it all be the same. I'm just doing it because if I look at a graph, it's got the value. Not really that. Point is, it is handling. All right, just the reason why I keep on changing the name, again, it doesn't really matter. But one of the nice things within Gremlin, well, it depends on your visualizer. Like in here, you can see if there is a name with a small n, not with a big N, but if there's an N, a name, it will actually use that as the display. If you don't do that, it'll do the ID. At least right now I'm using GWIDs. GWIDs, I can't understand one GWID from another, whereas I can understand. All right, so that's good. That's cool. So that does actually handle that. You want to rename this because this is no longer a valid name. Now I'm sending a numeric. It doesn't describe. I mean, is numeric sounds like it's only sending a Boolean. Let's always check and get number. That sounds good enough. A little bit more descriptive of what it's doing. All right. Now what I want to do, let's see, I've got several to-dos in here. Get rid of those. Let's clean up a little. Go a little bit tidy. So in here, okay. Better handling getting name of property without action. So yeah, so this is not doing what I was expecting to do. So like current event. So if I take this out, I remember this correctly. Current event in here, even in here. Maybe that's what the problem was. Right. Yeah, so it's because there is no attribute, and that should be fine. I should be able to oh, hold on one second. I do need to respond to this real quickly. I'll respond to that later on. All right. All right, so yeah, I should be able to do this without an attribute, right? Because it's supposed to grab that name. So it's definitely not doing that correctly. So what we've got here, and I'm trying to get the name, and basically I'm not getting the key. In here, I am saying that's not string, oh, because there is no attribute, that's why. Let me make sure what I'm doing here. Get properties. Okay, for each property. So if it's doesn't equal default. All right, so let's do this. This should actually solve some of this problem here. Let's just solve the first part of this problem. So in here, we will set this to property, spell it right, property.name. That way it'll default to the regular property name. This will grab that attribute value. That's great. Checking where I'm grabbing. Can't be just. If here, I know I'm missing. Step through this because I'm definitely missing something obvious. In here, now we're on event here. Out location name. Your number. Here we go. Current event. So. Oh, okay, yeah, not a default value. Now the current event, that's what we want. That might have fixed the whole problem, but checking here. So get those property attributes. It are no attributes to it. Fine. Okay, yeah. So all right, so this should be working this. I don't know why I was having a hard time understanding that. So, and then now if I look here, I have current event. Right. That fixes that problem. Take that off. That was easy enough. So then the other thing we want to do, we've got non-primitive JSON types aren't supported. String. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yep, most of that handled. We need to still handle things that are not string numbers or true false type booleans. Then okay, object actually okay. I can actually get rid of that to do. So I'm left with this one. Basically, properties are objects. So let's think what we want to do in here. So again, what they really should be is an edge. All right. So how a graph works, or there should, I'm sorry, there should be an edge to link those two. So the way how a graph works is you have your object. Now, rephrase, with a property can have metadata in, you can have metadata, right? And actually, so this is the document. It can only be primitive types or arrays. But really, most likely what you're going to actually do, which is different than a regular document database. Normal document database, I would just stuff that embed, that object inside of an object. I would just put that in there. And here, we really want to, really should fire off to another thing, but another vertex, and then you have an edge that connects them. But I definitely can't do that by default. That needs some additional work. So let's, what do I want to, how do I want to handle? Is there, I think what I want to do, sharp check for perimeter. Okay. Gets a value indicating whether the type is one of the primitive types. Should work. Primitive types are Boolean, byte, double, yes, which that all can be handled. All right, cool. So what we'll do for now, I need to add in the ability to handle relationships. We'll add that a little bit later. That'll probably be tomorrow's if I was a hazard. So what we'll do for now is primitive, right? Should be able to do and property. Actually, I should even and property is primitive. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I gotta do and type of property primitive. Get the property type. That's what I'm. There we go. Just need to fix my syntax. All right. So now that should stop getting that object, which is really what I want to do in this part of the code. Oh, that definitely cut off too much. Oh, because string is not a primitive type. That would make sense. I've never had to look for something's a string. If actually, I guess I think I'm just overthinking this. Going back to here because car is in there. Yeah, I'm just overthinking this. So if it's primitive, or property type of string. There we go. Now that should work. There we go. So we have an ID, a string, property, which is a string. Let me just go ahead and copy that. Actually, let me just do this. Let me step through this. I just want to make sure that it is only filtering out it should. So a quick little self-validation. So we're on event ID. That should work. Went in there correctly. We're on name. That should be. We're on out. In. Now we're on location names. So this is a string. So that should go in there. Now we're on location. So this is not. There we go. It skipped that one. We're on start date. Oh, I need to check for dates. Okay. 8. And this one can go in there because that was a collection. And now we're on your eye. That's not going to go in there. I got to check for that. Ooh, this gets weird. How do we? Wow. See, this is where I'm probably being silly trying to build an ORM. Like URI, right? I mean, that should be a valid type. Gonna get intro. All right, what am I on now? Single. Current event. Addition keys a string. Oh. I just see that skip. I'm on addition key, which is a string. That shouldn't. Why? This is definitely doing some weird. Take time and URI, but boy. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, what other events, what other types are we going to have to handle? This definitely does getting. Trying to think. What is this? Override and it implements the private. Override. This is definitely getting kind of. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if this is the right way to do this. We'll add boolean is now object value, and I mean this is not gonna be that complicated. So if property, sorry, if type of test value actually type then we'll say if type is primitive return true, else if I don't know. I mean, this I think this is the right way of doing it. What I'm gonna do for right now. So I'm just gonna. So if type equals type of string. This just does not sound like this. Okay, I'll at least get those. I mean, this would work for an internal project where you know all the types. I'm really trying to build something that could be used by other projects, right? It's. I mean, number one, when we talk about cyclomatic complexity, all these if statements, that's fun. False. Yeah, look at a better way of figuring out what is about. I mean, maybe that's the right answer, but I'm not like. All right, now go in here. Right. So now that makes that a little bit smaller. So let's just run this. Look at what we got. Add. All right, so separating these, so I see these a little bit. There's our values. Oh, you know what? That partition key, I think I remember. Was it when I was testing earlier? Partition key is the string, but it didn't come up. But I think it's because it's. I think if it here, yeah, I have this value. Inheriting from. I'm actually not using this yet. I need to handle that better. That's what that was. All right. So now I just want to compare that I have everything that I should have had. So I've got my event ID, I've got my name, about location name, location, correctly not in there. Start date is now in there. End date is now in there. Days is correctly not. I think I'm setting a value to this. Number, current event. And sure enough, so that's just here's. I have sounds going off. So, man, my computer's just doing funky things today. That's what it was. I just all of a sudden heard that something is triggering sounds. That's just voice mod. That's not even where they're coming from. I'm gonna say I heard something earlier. It's coming from my headphones. They're sitting on the other side of my desk. which currently is not being captured. So you all are not hearing it, but I'm hearing it, which was funny. It was Gunny from Full Metal Jacket that was talking. All right, back to this. So got that. I want to do. Get some value and do that correctly. Just to make sure that's picking up the site URL. Yeah, that's picking. All right. So, and some validation. Make sure we're doing things we expecting to be doing. Back to here. Drop everything. Taking this long. Create that. We get our object. And all right, so we have our key correctly. We have our event ID. So yeah, what I was using my own self. So properties inside a graph actually have their own identity, which is kind of interesting. Which actually you can do some, like I said, you can get pretty out there. You can actually have metadata on top of this within your property. You can have metadata within that property. I generally don't do that. I don't go that far deep in it. You can. All right, so we have a name that's got the value set correctly. We have an about that's set correctly. Location name is set correctly. Start date is set correctly. End date is set correctly. Here's the URL that is set correctly. Number is number, and Boolean is a correct Boolean. All right, that's cool. So that is awesome. Now we can actually take this console. I can remove this to do, but I still, like I said, I need to figure this part. I'm leaving that one in there. Now, go ahead and move this code. I'm going to in our ORM. Where we're going to put this. Okay, this is part of the save. We're going to part of a vertex. So think this through where this is going. So here's our vertex, which really this would be an abstract class. That, and then so then we're going to have a, excuse me. I'm going to do a void at the moment. In the end, it really should return the object. Right now, we're just going to return a void and save. No parameters. Let's see. Yeah, this should work. So then what we'll do here, we'll just copy these. That. That. Couple of errors. see statics off. That was because of the console. These do not be static. That part of it. That's there for right now. Okay. These other areas we'll fix here in a moment. So again, I have code analysis running. So it's giving me some warnings of some things I should be doing better. Fix those here in a moment. I actually don't really change anything we're doing yet. So what I just, so now here, actually for right now, we're going to return a string because I'm not going to do the actual save method just yet. And this will, simplicity's sake, return get add type. Oh, still wasn't open. And if right now, we're just moving over for the moment, just return get txt to save. All right. Ooh, okay. Like I'm gonna have to actually getting a lot of pings right here. I have to close up here. I have to join up on a conversation. At least get this in here, and then verify we've got at least what we want to do. Now we're doing it the way I want that, and say console.writeLine detail, and is not really. Not doing this right. All right, I'm a little bit distracted. There's still some stuff going on with colleges this morning. People now have questions. And no, I'm not streaming while we have an outage. The outage is resolved. It's people are asking, what can we do? Which really boils down to we need to open up. All right, so that should do what I'm expecting to do. And there we go. It's returning what we're expecting. I do need to handle that better. I mean, that's not doing that right. Just to better explain so you can see what this is not liking. Just basically not, you know, what it's wanting me to do is variant culture. Oh, variant. I just need to add. Which basically I'm just telling it to do what you're already doing. Does it not? It should be static even. Oh, because now it's telling me I should make this. Also wants static also. Sometimes code analysis doesn't pick up the corrections in the file. Now that, there we go. Now those are wigglies are gone. Issue here. Got to a static. Was already. Some of this is a little bit annoying. I mean, again, this is just better handling. It's not necessarily like it was bad. Error, that's definitely. Sense, but doesn't. Oh. All right, I'm gonna have to clean it up. All right, because I really do need to move. All right, so let's actually raid. Unfortunately, I need to cut off. I apologize. I'm getting some questions I need to. Let's take a look at who we've got going on. Also move my closing screen. Let's see. What is Brian?
Actually, I don't care about that. Yeah, dude. I'll just throw it up.
Move over. All right, so get that typed in. All right, so like I said, sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted. I need to move over. I got workers getting caught up on me right now. Definitely want to thank everyone for joining tonight. I want to thank my new followers, so Matt Groves, Calvin Allen, Kevin Griffin, and Mike Eaton. Awesome part is those are some really awesome guys, folks I know from running events and speaking events. Really miss folks like that. That's one of the things that sucks about not being out, about everything being closed down. At least we are seeing more events going virtual. I'm working on Close a lot right now, which will be a 100% virtual event. Hopefully I have pricing on it next week, and we'll be announcing all speakers and everything. But yeah, definitely miss all those folks. So sure enough, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna raid Brian Laganas. He's working on Visual Studio extensions. So joined him a couple times. It's been a lot of fun. So with that, I hope everyone has an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow.
Move them. That means I also don't need this code. Right? Oh my goodness, Tell learn to code. You know what that means? That is the sound of a raid.
It's a raid, everyone! Defend our chat from these raids!